I'm Svea. I'm from Germany and I live in London. I think football is a bit more than just what happens on the pitch. It's also what's around it and how you connect with people who are liking the sport as much as you do. Everyone is very passionate about it. During break in school, you always kick around the ball. So I think it starts there, and then we have so many clubs. Like, we are a nation of clubs, so everyone is playing in a club sooner or later, and then at the weekends you either play yourself or you support your favorite team. I think it changed quite a bit from originally watching it at home, and then with all the football licenses it changed to be a bit more in pubs and in Kneipen. Recently, when it comes to big sports event, a lot of street festival situations almost start around it. So the first times I was there, I was just like paralyzed because I'm a Dortmund supporter. I never saw so many people in one spot, because in Dortmund there are over 80,000 people, but when I was there it was over 50,000 people. But I'm from a very, very tiny countryside area, and then my father is from Dortmund, which is why I'm a fan. But I never saw so many people singing, and it was really so impressive. I don't know, it feels like you are so strong as like the community that you can change the match. And then it changed slightly because the fans of Dortmund changed. Dortmund got a bit more successful. They're like quite reserved, they don't jump, they don't sing, and that's like the one thing that changed. And then the other thing is that the negative parts of football came out. Like, they're quite right-wing supporters, and I don't understand where their room is. I don't understand why they come into the stadium just to make hooligans or be hooligans. So that was 1997 UEFA Champions League. The final was on a Wednesday, and it was Dortmund playing Juventus Turin. And I had to beg my parents to stay awake because obviously it was school night. And I just had my first communion like a couple of weeks earlier, and I got a jersey, my first Dortmund jersey. And it was ridiculously long because back then they didn't have a women's or a children's section. So I was wearing my white dress, and above my white dress I was wearing another black and yellow jersey, which was going over my knee. And my dad was like, okay, if you want to watch, then you trade in your jersey, at least for me to support them. So I did that, and I was sitting in front of the telly with like that much difference, and I remember every single thing of that match. I still remember when Lars Ricken, he was like my crush at that time. We won that match, and the next day I was wearing my jersey to school, and everyone was like patting my back as if I would have won the Champions League. I was born a Dortmund supporter. I was a Dortmund supporter because my dad is from Dortmund. He's actually from the road of the church where the team is from. So the backstory about Dortmund is that it's a Catholic team, and a lot of men who were working in the mines, they didn't want to go to church on a Sunday. They wanted to play around football, and in order to get that under one roof, that team was founded in those halls of the church. So my father actually played for Dortmund when he was very, very young. He was not good enough, so he never made it into the big team. My brother was born, and he actually became a member, and I was so jealous of him being a member of Dortmund that I really never like stopped talking about it. And for my 18th birthday, my father gave me the membership for Dortmund, so now I'm an official member of the team as well. It changed a bit because now a few more Dortmund players are also part of the national team, and I think in general the team spirit became a bit bigger. So I do support Deutschland, Germany, but I think my heart is always like a bit more in it when it's about Dortmund. really superstitious, so if a goal happens while I'm not in the room, I think it's like I'm not allowed to go back, so it's like really bad. But so I'm just like, then I'm starting to listen to the radio instead of watching it. When Dortmund is losing and I watch the whole match, I'm not very pleasant to be around. Like at one stage, Dortmund is playing Bayern München, which is like our biggest rival. And when Dortmund loses against them, don't talk to me. Like, I go up, I'm like not talking to anyone for like half an hour, and then I have to like relax and then come down. It's like, it's not my personal, I didn't lose, it's not my personal defeat, and no one in the room can do something about it. But yeah, don't poke the bear after the match. Roberto Carlos, he was huge when I was young, like huge. And also I have like very big calves, so I always say that they are like my Roberto Carlos calves. But he was just a brilliant player. That might be controversial, but it's definitely Cristiano Ronaldo. Especially when he plays for Portugal, I think you see a quite good character, and that he's a bit more like behind the team. And he is so big in Portugal, and in the team itself, he's so overshining everything basically. It always gives the impression that it's more important to him to win for Portugal than winning anything else. And when it comes to Messi, who's a brilliant player on its own, I never see it as much as I see it when he's playing for his national team. Oh, I'm aggressive. I wish I wouldn't be, because like I hate that about me, but I get very passionate. But I still want to do it right. So if anyone is behaving like off, then I'm still judging that very much. So I think I'm like a very aggressive one, but not physically aggressive to anyone else. Even though I once pushed one of my fellow Dortmund supporter because he was in my seat. I was not happy about that. Oh yeah, we will rule the group stage. That will be fine. And then after, it's going to be interesting. To be honest, like last time in the World Cup, I didn't see them winning. So I was like the whole time, I'm like, oh, don't get your hopes up, don't get your hopes up. Well, first of all, like I said, I'm superstitious, so don't jinx it. But I think we will make it to a semi-final. God, I hope I didn't jinx it now. France has a good potential this year, and I think also maybe the second one would be one of the Latin American teams. So I think you can't really underestimate any of those. I think you can never really underestimate Brazil, no matter who's playing. They always have so many great individual players. If they put them together and have like a manager who can manage them. I think like from European ones, well, I hope for Germany. Spain, you never know, because again they have like a generation change right now. If they change wisely, I think they have a good team. I think Portugal, if they are like on the wave of success that they have from the European Championships, they could be good too. Which is not narrowing it down, I just like add more and more teams right now. Quite big was the one from Sportfreunde Stella. It basically says like that we have everything necessary to be the champion. Obviously you'd like to sing that about your team. So the song was all about like when we won the World Cup, which was 54, 74, 90, and then it was changed from 2006 to 2010 to 2014, and finally for 14 we were able to actually sing it like properly. But before that it was always like 54, 74, 90, 2014. Ja, so stimmen wir alle ein, mit dem Herz in der Hand und der Leidenschaft im Bein werden wir Weltmeister sein.